Thank you for listening to Right Jokes, Wrong Times. Today I was joined by Justin Bires. You can catch Justin and I on stage doing a set together in Austin on July 3rd at midnight at the Buzz Mill. We started the podcast talking about him moving to Austin.
All right, man. Well, I'm actually really excited to talk to you because for being one of the people that I'm kind of closest to in comedy, I haven't felt close to you lately because our lives have kind of been in different places. You're now up in Austin, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I've kind of been anxious to see your set. I know you're working on a ton of new jokes and I'm kind of right in the same boat right now. So dude, I'm excited to kind of hear what you want to talk about today.
It's so funny how you set this up sometimes because you're like, yeah, man, we used to be so close. Skin on skin close. And I haven't seen you yet. You're in Austin. But yeah, man. So you want me to go ahead and just riff a new one with you?
I know you already know the format, so you know that I like to hear what joke you have that works, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus,
yeah.
It's been a while since I've done this goddamn podcast.
So the joke that is working, I'm really happy with this one, kind of how it's starting to come together is my brother going to prison bit, and
right.
It's kind of like a two-headed monster. One, a real quick, my brother was an MMA fighter before he went to prison. And
No.
Almost like a one-liner is yeah, he was 3-0 in the cage and 0-2 in court. Which I want to expand off a lot, but right off of the bat, they're like, okay, I have a good idea about this guy. And then I kind of get into when they took him to prison, it kind of felt like they took him to Hogwarts and just the whole experience. It's funny how strikingly similar that experience was. And this is serious. They literally came in the house and they're like, hey man, we gotta take you. And I feel like Dudley. I'm just like, oh, I wanna go.
Yeah. You're the chosen one that they love, and they're like, yeah, you can take that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I have the scar on my arm. I was like, no.
Dude, so I know we've talked about basically a lot of this stuff already before, but I am pretty confident that the better your record is in the cage, the worse your record is in court. I'm positive that's a correlation. We need to get scientists on this.
Somebody bring up Kimbo Slice.
And you've talked about that before, how he, if I'm not mistaken, got arrested for, I think, fighting a homeless person, right?
Yes. Yep.
So he went reverse Kimbo Slice. He went from professional fighter to fighting the homeless, which is really cool because not a lot of people go that direction.
Yeah, in my opinion, it was people were like, man, was he practicing? I was like, you know what? At least he was dedicated. Right.
It was just an exhibition. All right.
It's like Logan Paul. Whatever happens here doesn't really count against your record. I mean, maybe your court record, but
dude, that'd be sweet if you just had an exhibition court record, a few that just didn't count.
Dude. I feel like that's how celebrity court records are. R. Kelly, I feel like he's been on trial for 25 years.
You're so right. I mean, I guess when you do what he did, I mean, you kind of deserve to be in the public eye.
Oh my God, dude. I feel like his his time being on trial is older than most of the women he's with. So
that was exactly my first thought, and I didn't want to say it.
Well, dude, I appreciate you giving me the alley. Oh man, yeah. So that's my new joke that is starting to work and it's coming together, and then it kind of evolves right from the only differences between Harry Potter and prison are no Latinos in Harry Potter. It's so funny because about half the time the audience really clicks with the brother stuff and they're just like, oh my God, that's funny. And I don't want to sound cocky, but maybe 95% of the time that's the part that people it really opens up the joke of people would be like, oh shit.
One of the big reasons there's no Latinos in there is because it's written by J.K. Rowling, who grew up in Europe. And, if that was written, let's say, in America, I'm sure it'd be different. Now, I bring that up because I know you do a killer English accent.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd love for you to try out for the English cast movie as they're you know what, we need to bring in a Latino, but he still has the British accent. They're I know a guy, Justin Bires.
Hey, man, I'm British. So what are we gonna do? Catch the snitch and shit?
Oh man.
They're like, no, not that one. Do the other one. Oh, what you fucking talking about? And they've been like, oh, actually, we like the other British accent more.
The platters were filled with fish and chips and shit.
I love that phrase so much.
I do too. I get that stuck in my head all the time, man.
Yeah. Zach brought me up one time and he literally was like, give it up for Justine Bernhardt. And I went up there and like tried a British accent. And I'm like, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Already doing very well. So I was like, okay, yeah. They told me, they're like, you're so bad at accents, it's good.
Yeah.
So.
You bridged the gap on your terrible skills. Jesus. I like that I just have people on to say shit like that to them. Nice, because I wanted to talk.
You never do accents, right?
No, God, no. I think it would veer into hate speech real quick. I got to be very selective with accents.
I can totally see where that could go brutally wrong.
Dude, when you look like an undercover cop and you start doing an accent, you're like, I am allowed to do redneck. I'm allowed that one.
Yeah, you're allowed to do redneck and then like
British,
maybe like 2 European countries.
And British only because my last name's Potter. Let's be real.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's real white privilege. Is like whatever profession your last name is, you can do a pretty mean accent with.
Jesus. All right. Well, what's a joke of yours that you have that isn't working on stage?
Dude,
Or didn't.
This worked the first time I did it and it hit so good, but I just happened to I think I just went into like a good audience or like, someone that just laughs at everything.
Right.
And it was that a thing about dick pics of like, oh, I've never sent a dick pic before. And like, that's my proudest achievement. Like I'm more proud of that than going to college. And what I ended up kind of like saying, I was like, also I've been with a girl for 7 years and she's never asked me for one, which I'm not marrying her until she does. And eventually something punchline is she treats my dick like Indian food, where it's like, you could be craving it, but let's be real, it looks gross. I don't know why it hit so good. And I've tried it like several other places and all of them fall pretty flat. And I don't know if it's just maybe it's not my humor to like get that like graphic. And it's definitely probably like one of my more graphic bits that I've written. But yeah, dude, this bit sucks dick. But I like it,
Yeah, never sending a dick pic. So if you've been together that long and you haven't sent a dick pic or she hasn't requested one, I think it's either one of two things. Either you got the memorable one and she's like, no, I don't need to see a picture. Like, I got it. Or it's like, she's like, no, I don't need to see that.
Yeah, but it's also like if like Jimmy's foot who has like 2 toes, or like, can I send it to you? And I'm like, dude, absolutely not. It's already the worst part of my day is seeing it. I see it at least once a day. So
I feel like I'll request that. I feel like you don't need to solicit that. I didn't feel the need to hang a no soliciting sign in our friendship.
Also, what is this, Potter? You've never asked me either.
I mean, I just feel like it's implied with all my friends that they should send me dick pics. God damn it. I don't even want to put that out there. See, I told you I edit stuff out.
And start recording.
I actually, sorry to kind of make this a little bit about me on my podcast, you son of a bitch. My most recent stuff and the stuff that I'm most excited to talk about on stage is actually like all sex and talking about what you're talking about. It's way more graphic than I ever am. Like it makes me a little uncomfortable to talk about that in front of people. It's weird to step out of your comfort zone like that, man.
I agree. And I've talked to a couple people and they've been like, yeah, you could tell that like it's not something you really want to talk about. And it's like, it's not so much that like I'm uncomfortable talking about it. It's like, also, I don't want like this to be like a really good bit and then say it a lot in front of like, I guess people that will know my family or so. And it's like, there is an element of like, we're totally kidding, right?
Well, you know what I always think? I hope this doesn't become a really good bit.
Yeah, maybe I'm approaching these jokes the wrong way.
Every time I go up, I'm like, you know what? I hope this one just doesn't get too big for my britches. I've never heard somebody say that.
I really hope this isn't like a career defining bit.
Dude, that would suck. I mean, Jesus, if you have a career defining bit at my level with no career, it means that you did it a bit so bad. People are like, dude, pull up this goddamn bit.
Oh man. But let's be real, like when we first started, like there are bits that were like, I wish I could have started comedy right now and skipped that whole phase.
Oh, dude, I feel like everything I look back at that I've written, I'm like, Jesus, Brendan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, dude, what were you think? Have you ever gone back about 2 years or so and listened to like your first like material like that you were like proud of?
Yeah,
Don't do it, man.
no, not good.
You sit there and you're like, man, I was so confident in this piece of shit.
Dude, it really makes me so much less confident in all the stuff I'm confident in now. When I do that shit, I'm like, dude, I thought that was good then. I think this is good now. What the fuck am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
I always like to talk about what you're writing about now. And this is probably the section with you specifically that I'm most excited for because you've been in the same boat I am, like I said at the start, where I really feel like I'm trying to hammer out new, more raw stuff to me. So what are you writing about now, man?
It's kind of more like a chunk. And I don't know, maybe I feel like I write almost a little like scatterbrained where I'm like, I like this direction, I like this direction, and I
Right.
can't pick a side, so I'm gonna go both.
That's
So
called bisexuality. That's
yeah,
cool, man. Is this
it's
where you're
called,
coming out or what?
this is by deciders.
Dang, you
Dude.
just barely caught Pride Month. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, and that would be like the most like stolen valor, like right at the end. You're like, what? You're like, what's more gay than coming right at the end, like right in the behind,
Jesus, no,
right
so
at the
first.
butt of the month.
So Jesus.
But so I'm doing a bit where it's like I didn't have internet till I was 17, and when I first started, I did something similar, but like now I feel like I'm a better writer, and there's two ways I want to go with it. One is like dude, without internet, like in 2012, like you couldn't even lie because there's fact checking. And I was like the only person that was like out of the loop. So I'd be telling people like, "Oh yeah, my dad owns Whataburger." And they'd Google me and they'll be like, I mean, I just see his two DUIs.
And you're saying this in corpus, of course, where
Mhm.
Whataburger is fucking king.
Oh yeah, I'll say this: Whataburger. When I say Whataburger, in my head, it's like Amazon. You know,
Dude, so you're like claiming that your dad is the Jeff Bezos of fast food down in Corpus.
my dad's Jeff like quesos.
Jesus.
My God, yeah, but in a weird way, I feel like you get this because like not having internet is like weirdly isolating, like especially in like modern time growing up. And like
Yeah.
you being like Mormon, like even though like the Civil War already happened, like you totally understand. You're like, okay, I was missing out.
Yeah. I had a black hole on a lot of the internet where I was just like, I'm not supposed to go there. And I'm a pretty damn good rule follower. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to go there.
Sure. So okay, and then this direction I feel like you'll really get was like I didn't have access to porn growing up at all.
Right.
So like I mean I still needed like inspiration to shake weight too. So my favorite was the divas in a WWE magazine that like I don't even know where I got this from, but I had it and I loved it. I'm thinking I was like, dude, for some reason my first type was violent women. Yeah, the basically just kind of thinking about like the eventually you if you do find porn, what would like the similarities be, and been like, okay, dude, I get the hair pooling, the choking, the girl on girl, but where's the story?
Dude.
Which one of these whores is the heel?
I like that you're like watching porn for the articles. You know what I mean? When it comes to porn, I remember the first thing that I ever like kind of found that I thought was like pornography. It was on the internet, right? I was at home alone and my dad was supposed to get home like any moment. I think I've told this before, but it was just a chick in a bathing suit, but she was just like bending over and you could like see her butt, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna print this. So I hit print, but we had like one of those old school printers
The
where it
one
like
that like literally takes like a week.
dude, it had like the holes on the side, so it would like feed it through. And this is like early 2000s, so it took forever to print one line. And like, so I hit print, and dude, it's taking like 20 minutes, and you can see the paper go like and like go like one line further down, and then it would start printing the next line.
I could feel your anxiety in this story, like knowing how like Mormon you are. You probably felt like you were like stealing the Declaration of Independence.
Bro, Oh, dude, it did feel like a heist. I was running back and forth from the computer to the door. Like, all right, is he coming home anytime soon? Like, am I gonna have to just pull the plug on all this shit sometime soon and rip this thing out of the goddamn printer?
It hasn't even gotten to the butt.
Yeah. I was so afraid. I don't even know where I hid it, but I was so afraid of my dad finding that thing, man. It was just this picture that I had.
Can you, what's so funny, especially because now that you're a dad, right? Like imagine like now your reaction would be like, oh, I see that girl like every day on Instagram. Like it is as mild as like naughty as it gets.
How nice that I don't have to deal with my son printing shit out and finding like shit printed. It's just like, dude, can you please not be on the phone like that? I don't know how I'm gonna like deal with that when that shit comes up. Luckily, I don't have to deal with that shit yet.
I was about to say, best way, you don't.
Jesus, you just go with the don't parent method. All right, got it. You're like, you know what? We'll let that one work itself out in payroll.
Yeah, dude. You're like that. First off, that's a mom topic.
There are surprising amount of mom topics come up. I'll be honest. The clip is like 99%.
You're like, this is how I imagine you. This is such a diss, but it's like when like it's like, okay, we gotta tell them about the birds and the bees, and you're like, okay, Ashley, but can you give me a reminder?
I'll just kind of be like a hype man in the back if you just want to like tell them about it. I'm just like, yeah, wait, what?
Yeah, you're like the birds and the bees, and you're like, and then there's sometimes wasps.
What species of birds, I guess, and bees? I'd like to know. The reason that I wanted to have you on today was because you and I are about to do a set together on. I don't even know how it's going to work out, to be honest.
When is it?
So it's July 3rd, Austin at the Buzzmill. I don't have a time, but I'll find one out before I put this out and I'll put that on there. But yeah, we're doing like a set together. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's going to be the first time that I do it with another man.
Well, that's not true. You've done some roasts where you're like, okay, just be really mean to me.
Yeah, I mean, I say that to the sun every day. Yes.
Please roast me. I'll take the dark roast.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude, I have no clue how this is gonna go either. Like, are we doing our set? Or are we just talking up there? Like, it is about as blind of a date going in as I've probably ever had in comedy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's cool that it's probably like your girl's fantasy that there's gonna be the two of us up there, you know?
Oh my goodness, dude.
You can catch those kind of great fucking jokes on July 3rd. The chemistry is palpable in this. But all I know is that that stage will be under much, much less pressure than the tandem of Joey and Tony.
Oh my God. You know what? Honestly, I hope we go after them just so you can hit that.
All right, man. Well, dude, anything that you'd like to hype?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the Buzzmill show. I am starting a new podcast. Just one thing that's been kind of like a passion project I've been trying to do. We're just starting to get moving post NBA playoffs. It's going to be called Loose Handles. It is sports comedy podcast. Me and a buddy, Lucas Windland, are going to be doing it, and our goal is that we can hit an episode out every week, probably starting right after the playoffs.
Okay, so I try to start to do this like duo thing together, and then you're teaming up with somebody else. All right. It's very
yeah, but here's the thing: is this guy is he's talented and he knows sports.
Damn it! I keep hearing that from people when they let me go. Dude, so do you have like do you differentiate between projects and passion projects? You're like, these are my passion projects. These are my projects. These probably won't get done.
Yeah, I drink. Yeah, but pretty much. A passion project basically means I don't do it.
It's like the opposite. Oh, damn. All right.
You've been like, oh man, like it means that if someone heard, they're like, oh man, you could tell he's really into it, but he's got so much going on.
Oh, no wonder my sex is passionate. Jesus. Well,
you're like, yeah, making my girl come is my passion project. It's like kind of like building a house, like, you know, one of these days, or like one of those people that like fix a car for 30 years.
Making love with her is my passion project. I'm just projecting losses this year. We're gonna have to let some people go.
Oh my God, man. I want to do one of these with you telling me your jokes, man.
I'll tell you one right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
one that I'm like really excited about is like sex in Mormonism was awesome, but sex out of Mormonism is like incredible. It's almost like when your phone gets like an update and you're like, shit, it could do this now. Like same holes and everything, man. And like the joke that I'm really excited about is after that is like, well, I can't get my phone on vibrate ever since the update.
So. That is really, really funny. I love how you write. There's so little, like, because it's not a story, right? Like you write as punchy as any comedian I've ever heard.
Thanks, man.
And
you're like not a compliment, but yeah.
No, it's really good. Like you write in these like one-liners where, in my opinion, is like very New York comedy, which is
me being cultured.
Which do you feel like, oh man, I do really good at bar shows or like the comedy clubs? Like, do you feel any difference? Like same?
It's hard for me. I'll tell you. I don't know necessarily an answer to that. I'll tell you. Like bar shows, I feel like I tend to struggle because I feel like it's hard for me to talk over people a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't talk over people, I'm like, I don't know, I just don't get their attention. So that's just something that I need to work out. But
because telling a story is like, it's an asshole at a bar.
Yeah. I always feel like, especially at bars, is like I'll go up and I'm trying to talk over people. I'm trying to like yell a one-liner at them and then it doesn't go well. And then like they just go back to what they're doing. And I'm like, well, I'm about to yell 20 more at you.
You're just like, hey, I said small boys.
Yeah. Damn.
Mexican, that's all they hear. Mexican small boys.
Jesus. Oh, cool, man. Well, dude, thank you for doing this with me today, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Dude, you got it, brother. Even though it's my Zoom.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, thank you for letting me come on.
Dude, take it easy, brother.
All right, you too, man.